exploration is a hot topic, and the Google Lunar X competition is challenging companies from all over the world to land on and explore the moon. Today we meet the head of one of the companies, Astrobotic Technology. Hi John, thank you for joining us on Cadella today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Astrobotic Technology is one of several companies who are participating in the Google Lunar X challenge and the race to land on the moon. So John, tell me, why did you enter this race?
We entered this race because we've always had our eyes set on the moon. Our founder, Red Whittaker, has been chasing the moon for literally decades. When the X Prize came up, it just aligned very nicely with what he was already doing. And X Prize is really a catalyst for us. It's just the very first step toward exploring the moon and beyond.
Yeah, you definitely have some exciting things coming. We'll talk about that in just a second. I'm curious, what are you and your team hoping to gain from this experience?
Landing on the moon is something special for us and the entire world. We haven't seen a moon landing since the Apollo program back in the 60s and with the Lunar program in the 70s. The moon has been quiet. It's been an experience that no one has yet really understood what's possible there. When we're on the moon, it's going to be live 3D HD video coming back real time. So it's going to be happening very quickly, and people are going to be able to interact with this experience in a totally different way than what we're used to with the Mars exploration. So this first mission is really just a first step towards something bigger and better. And that's going to be continued exploration of the moon and continued exploration, understanding what resources and what's available in our solar system and forming the basis of those resources for further exploration.
Okay, now let's get into some of the more interesting things that your team is doing. Can you tell us about Polaris? I understand its main purpose is to search for water on the moon's surface?
That's right. We're building a robot called Polaris, and we're going to be landing on the surface of the moon with that in October of 2015. And Polaris is designed to prospect for water ice on the surface of the moon. When the Apollo astronauts landed on the moon, they landed on the equator of the moon. So it's hot at the equator. It's actually above boiling, 120 degrees Celsius. So if there's any water that was there, it would evaporate right away and disappear into the blackness of space. However, if you go to the pole of the moon, which is our intent in 2015, you get low glancing sun angles and the temperatures can be much, much colder. So if water lands there from impact sites, it actually stays there in the form of water ice. So this robot is designed to find out where that water ice is, what concentration there is, and determine really what quantity of resources possible there on the surface of the moon.
What would finding water on the moon mean for space exploration?
Water is a big step toward exploring our solar system. You can do a lot of things with water. You can drink water. You can turn water into rocket fuel, so you could use the moon as a base for further exploration beyond. You can also split it and use the oxygen to breathe. So it's really a critical resource toward exploring our solar system. And it's also a very heavy material that costs a lot to move from Earth to other places. So if we can find it on the moon, it could be extremely valuable for settlement and further exploration.
Your team's also looking into cave exploration on the moon. Can you explain why?
Yes, that's right. If you think about settling on the moon, the first settlements here on Earth actually occurred in caves. Cavemen would live in caves because it's cool, it's dry, it's away from the elements. Same thing when you're looking at the surface of the moon. There's an underground cave network called lava tubes underneath the surface, and those lava tubes are very interesting because thermally they're very benign. It's chilly, but you can definitely survive. It's not the extreme hot and the extreme cold that you see on the surface. You're protected from micrometeorites. You're also protected from radiation. So it's a perfect environment to settle inside of. We've never seen inside a cave, and the first time that humankind will go and explore these caves is going to be with a robot. And we hope that it's our robot that lands on the surface and goes drives inside these caves.
I'm excited to see what you find there. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the Lunar X Challenge. Can you tell us about your rover and lander that you're sending to the moon? How are they different than the other teams that are competing in this challenge?
Sure. One of the big differences with our team is that we've purchased an entire Falcon 9 launch vehicle, and we're using that whole launch vehicle and all of the mass with it for our mission. Many of the other teams are going as secondaries or tertiaries on launch vehicles, so they're smaller scale. Our vehicle is capable of landing 200 kilos of dry mass on the surface of the moon. So there's a lot of capability for science and for roving payloads. So we chose to put a rover on top of that called Polaris, and that rover will go find the water ice. Our lander is designed to strap right on top of the Falcon 9 launch vehicle. Falcon 9 is a 200-foot tall, million-pound force vehicle that's going to throw our craft right into what's called a translunar injection. So when the launch vehicle lets go, we'll be flying right at the moon. Our vehicle takes over from there, and we're single stage. There's no separations anywhere along the way. We carry all the fuel we need to break and land on the surface of the moon with a precision soft landing. One big difference of our vehicle over Apollo generation is Apollo was would be happy to land in the greater Pittsburgh area. Our landing ellipse actually says we're going to land at the soccer field at Carnegie Mellon. So it's a much smaller landing ellipse and much greater precision.
And I'm curious what your time frame is. We've been talking to some of the other teams, and one of them said that they're hoping to get there as soon as 2014. So do you think that you can beat that?
Our goal is to go to the moon and do something, a meaningful mission on the surface of the moon. And we think that involves science, and we think that involves exploration. And to do it right and to make sure that we can achieve those science and exploration objectives, we're going in October of 2015 to land on the surface.
Well, you guys are doing some really great work there. I'm excited to see what comes next. Good luck to you in this competition and with the rest of the things that you're doing over there.
Thank you very much.
For more information on Astrobotic technology and other companies we'll be featuring, visit us at cadella.com.